Hey guys, so today is Monday and I had a doctor's appointment. It was a recheck on my tachycardia while being on Enderall. I was on the lowest dose. I was to take it twice a day, and before I would take it, I took my blood pressure, because I have a very, very low blood pressure, but I have a very high heart rate. And that's why I was put on it. Usually in the morning when I take my blood pressure, it is okay to take the Enderall. But later in the day, my blood pressure would be so low. If I took it, it would bottom it out. So usually I could take it at least once a day, sometimes not even that. So she took me off of that. Then we discussed POTS, and she looked it up and she says, well, I think we need to send you back to the cardiologist for this. So I gotta go in there and make an appointment with my cardiologist. So that's where I'm at right now. I gotta go back in 3 weeks. I've been set up for my mammogram because I am postmenopausal, and if my mammogram comes back okay, she will put me on some hormone replacements, which then will make me feel a little bit better and hopefully help me lose some of this weight. Because when you gain weight, I don't know if you guys know this, like for females, when we gain weight, we have more testosterone in our body than we have estrogen. And it's the same way with men. They have more estrogen than they have testosterone. So it makes it hard for us to lose weight. And I gained my weight with Entyvio. I had lost it and was still losing it. After the Humira, she put me on Saxenda. And I lost like 20 pounds in the first month, and I was still losing. And I had gotten down to 119 and was still losing after I quit taking the medication. But then I got on Entyvio, I ballooned up again. And then having all my medical issues, having hypothyroidism, my gastroparesis, just everything, and then to menopause and everything all together, you might as well forget it. I just gained, and it's like, it doesn't matter what I do at this point, I just cannot lose. There is something I am going to try. I've seen too many people, talked to too many people that have lost weight with this, and I'm gonna try it. And if it works, I'll tell you if it does. And I don't want to tell you what it is if it doesn't work. I'm going to my sister-in-law's for a couple of days, and when I go on any trip, I have lists made out, and they're on my computer. My husband's on the computer right now. I cannot get to them, but I have them. I have it written out for my catheter supplies, for my ostomy supplies, and for my port supplies. And well, when I don't have those lists, I tend to forget things. So I was just messing around, and it was like, oh yes, I seen them laying in the floor in the living room, because I have some of these things in the living. I have port supplies throughout my entire apartment. I kid you not. I have normal saline and heparin in the bathroom, in my living room, and in my bedroom. I have Phenergan and Zofran in my bedroom and in my living room, and I have some in the drawer in my bathroom. So this stuff is just like, it's everywhere. It's everywhere I want to be. And so I seen them, because I kind of like just tossed them over there like last night. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I need tubing. I didn't put tubing in there. Well, the thing about tubing is it's good for 24 hours. So you can typically use it twice, depending on how often you run your fluids. Sometimes it depends on, well, if I'm still up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll just go ahead and start my fluids for that day, and then they might be done at like about noon that day, or if I wake up at 6 and I start them then, they'll be done at 4. They run over a 10-hour period, and it's for hydration. So that's why I went to On The Go, because I was stuck to a pole for years. So now we bought a insulated grocery bag, and I always pack for more days than what I'm going to be gone. I do that because, well, you never know what's going to happen. And my pharmacy is here in Louisville, and well, I'm sure that I could get expressed overnight to my sister-in-law's, but you know, I don't want to chance that. I don't want to chance anything. So I have to make sure I have plenty of supplies. I have to make sure, you know, that I have port supplies just in case something happens. You know, I'm not getting I'm not getting blood return. You know, those sorts of things happen. They have a swimming pool. I won't get in my pool here. I won't do it. It's not that our pool is dirty. It's not that at all. We have a very pristine pool. We have 2 pools side by side. I don't go up there for the simple fact that, 1, I have to walk up there. Well, I wouldn't have to now. My husband's home. I could take the truck. But 2, there's kids. And sometimes kids are only in one pool. But in the case that they're not, I'm packing the place that my port was actually located and was infected, and it has not closed up. The only thing it had done was scabbed up, and it wasn't doing anything else. I cleaned it up, and I am packing it and keeping it clean and healing it. So what I am using on it, I even cut out the top of it, because I can only use certain dressings, and it needs some air, but this dressing, the only way it can get air is if I cut the top of it so it can get air. And so with that and my port, Aqua Guards, it doesn't matter how I do it, the Aqua Guards always gets my dressing wet every single time. Even so, I learned in the shower, wash my body, wash my hair last, and it's less likely that my dressing will get wet. It might get a little bit wet. This dressing is actually water resistant, and since my port keeps like a dome over the top of it, it doesn't like suction down all the way around the port. It just suctions down on my skin. My port itself doesn't get wet. So a lot of times I'll just let it go, or if I'm not that sure, I'll just change the dressing around it to be sure. And so that is not something I'm willing to take a risk in our pool. But at my sister-in-law's, I'm going to take my swimsuit and get in the pool because, well, I know it's just been them, and there's not going to be anybody splashing around me. Her son is 21, and he's not going to be splashing me. He knows that I have some issues, and he doesn't know. I don't know how much he knows or understands, but he knows I have a lot of issues, so he won't splash me. But anyway, so yeah, just going 2 hours away from home, I pack like I'm going to be across the country. Because, you know, when you're sick and you are a chronic sickness, you have a chronic illness, you have to do that. And I do it all the time. And I wish our medications have to come over a 90-day period. And I wish what they would do is they would give us a smaller vial so we wouldn't have to take our whole bottle. But since they don't, I have to take all of my medications with me because, well, I'm sure that I can get away with the other things, but I have some things that I don't think that they would. Now my controlled narcotics, I get those filled at Walgreens. So I get those in a smaller bottle. So that's not so bad. But the other things, yeah. But yeah, and I will put notes on my lamp. I put it on the mirror in the bathroom. I will put it on the door handle to the kitchen, to the refrigerator, and I will put a note on the door. I make sure I do not forget anything. So I make sure I have everything covered. My neighbor will be taking care of my plants. He's so excited. He's been waiting anxiously like I have, but he's waiting anxiously for some of these green tomatoes. I have been waiting anxiously for a red tomato. One of my red tomatoes, well, it really wasn't end rot. I don't know what happened to it, and I got rid of it. But it wasn't end rot. I don't know what happened to it. There is no end rot. I lined these suckers And I'm going to pick that red tomato there. And I think I'm going to take it in the house. And by tomorrow, it should be good to go. And there are some more here getting big. I am ready. I am ready. My tomatoes, my plants are just getting full of tomatoes. So, yeah. I have had these suckers since they were little. And I'm just ready. And I don't know what's gotten into my petunias. But something has. And I'm not going to replace them. It's, what, the middle of July. Whatever lasts, whatever doesn't. Something really got into that over there. It's really funny that I moved one from over there, replaced 3 flowers in that one, moved that one over there, and all of a sudden it gets diseased. I think something funny has been going on. I think there's been some retaliation. As like I said, I have a neighbor who shouldn't keep her nose so high up in the air because, you know, I know too much. It's gonna be exciting next month. Car tags on one car will be expired a year in September. They've had a car wreck in that car, and the tags in this car will be expired in August. And well, you know what's really aggravating is that the rest of us keep our tags up per our lease agreement, and they moved in February or March, and well, their tags still aren't up to date, and they've had a car wreck since they've lived here. And in the state of Kentucky, it is the law. You have to have insurance on a car. And if you have an expired registration, you can't get insurance on the car. And so they don't have insurance on the car in Kentucky, because in Kentucky, when you come from out of state, you have to go through an inspection. And so you have to go, and a sheriff has to go through your car with you, make sure everything passes, and then you can get your new tags for Kentucky and registration. Back whenever I moved back to Kentucky, I lived in Crestwood, so I had no problem getting my tags. But when I moved into Jefferson County, I had a light keep going off on my car. It was check engine light. It was nothing. But we had to go through emissions testing before we could get our tags renewed. Well, this light kept on coming on, so that was an automatic fail. So I waited. Lights off, ran through there. Well, do you have where they fixed it? No, a friend fixed it for me. They let me go, and I got my tags. But they quit doing that. But you still have to go through an inspection with the sheriff department in order to get your Kentucky tags. And you know, some people just talk way too much. And back in March, she was telling me it was going to cost her $900 to get tags. Well, it's July. That has been, what, 4 months ago? Does she think the price is going to go down? It doesn't, because in the state of Kentucky, it goes by 6% of the blue book value of your car. I don't know. You know, it's like I said in a couple of my entitlement videos, my millennial videos, because they're a millennial. They make themselves out to be a victim. She was telling me about her problems, how her husband is a wounded vet. I have no problem with her husband. Her husband has no problem with me. He even told her she started the shit with me. And I thanked him for his service to our country, and we talked, and, you know, but she is a typical millennial. She wants to make up excuses. She wants to blame other people. Well, it is not my fault that, you know, it is hard. I know it's hard to be a single woman with kids. I know it's hard. You know? If it wasn't for my in-laws, I love them. They're my second set of parents. They are, and they know it, and I always give them praise. But, you know, it is really hard to take care of yourself, much less having kids, and living in Louisville, Kentucky. And, you know, yeah, I'm sorry you had to do that, but that's not an excuse. This is the first time she's having, I don't care, it's not my problem. And, you know, she just needs to take responsibility, and that's it. Take responsibility, get your car fixed. You know, there's some things that you don't have to do, so you can put money to the side to get that car fixed. You know, we have all been there at some point in our lives. You know, I went for so long without a car, or just a nice car, because I couldn't afford it. Nobody paid my bills but me. And so I went without things. I didn't have cable television. Why? Well, because I worked. I really didn't have time to watch TV. And when I did, what I got on the antenna was, you know, good enough for me. I was able to get Fox. I was able to get ABC, CBS, NBC, and the Fox channel. That was all good and fine for me. I mean, I didn't need anything else. I had a crap load of DVDs. So, I went without that. I was able to pay. You know, I was able to pay my electric bill and things like that. And, you know, some months were harder than others. So some months I might not have paid one bill, but I paid the other bill. So then the next month, well, that bill didn't get paid because I had to pay this bill. And you know what? If you have never struggled, you will never understand it. But if you have struggled, you will understand it. Sometimes things don't get paid on time. And, you know, it's hard to be on your own, and I understand that. But you have to take responsibility. And coming to me, trying to show me something in the lease, and then for me a couple weeks later finding out, because I pulled up and just happened to see, because I was in the car with my daughter and we pulled up, that your car tags are expired. And so I say something to her about it. Well, don't start a fight that you just can't handle, or you just really and truly you know, I am not in violation of my lease. When they have put things up around here and we thought that we check, make sure we're not. But I can guarantee you something. We have to have $100,000 coverage on our apartment. That's how much they say it will cost if this place catches on fire to replace. We have it. Our tags are up to date. My husband, the 1st of September, starts getting nervous. I go right down the street and I get them renewed. Just things like that. We are not breaking our lease. We are well within our lease. We sign our lease early, so we get some little bonuses. I mean, if you know you're gonna be here, might as well see what you can get if you sign your lease early, right? We signed our 18-month lease last year in July, and or last July, well, I don't know. Anyway, it's up in December, and that was to keep our rent from going up. If we didn't do that, our rent was going to go up. Well, we knew we weren't going anywhere, so hey, hell yeah, I signed that lease. Our rent didn't go up, but it is going to go up. And I have asked about if there's anything right now, and he said there's a few little things, but that might change by the time we go to sign our lease. There will be something going on when we go to sign our lease, because I will go up there, I will call within 2 to 3 months before it's time for me to sign my lease. They will send me an email, or they will put it on my door for something to renew my lease early. So anyway, I know that was fun, wasn't it? But I am gonna get off of here, and I filled my bird feeder up. My little birds have just ate all that food. I guess I'm the only one feeding them. I have 4 zucchinis growing. These other plants, it's just like they're not doing anything. I don't know. But anyway, I will see you later. Goodbye.